Is the iPhone 8 Plus still worth it in 2021? So starting off with just what the iPhone looks like, it has a glass back and a glass front, as well as it has aluminum sides. So more than anything, what is truly noticeable about the iPhone 8 Plus versus all of the newer iPhone models that are available is the home button. I love my home button, and clearly I haven't upgraded to any phone with Face ID, and low-key, I'm one of those people that still doesn't really know how to use an iPhone 10, 11, or 12 just because I don't really understand how to use a phone without a home button, kind of embarrassing. So I do think that there are pros and cons to having a home button versus having Face ID. Really, I think the main pro is that obviously when you look however you look, your thumbprint or whatever fingerprint is still always going to be the same, so your phone shouldn't really have any trouble recognizing you. So with my sister, she's a med student and she works in a hospital, so with her iPhone 11, her iPhone actually doesn't recognize her when she has any of the PPE on her. So when she has like the face shield on, the mask on, literally the whole shebang, it doesn't recognize her. So she has to like take everything off to use her phone, or she just can't use her phone. So I think that's one pretty great benefit of having Touch ID. Of course, you know, when you get a little water droplet on your finger, your Touch ID is like, who is this girl? I don't know you. So like I said, it has its pros and cons, and it really just kind of depends on what you're more comfortable with. Next, I want to talk about performance. So this iPhone is rocking the A11 chip, while the iPhone 12 currently has the A14 chip. Obviously, Apple does upgrade their chips every single year, but I would say that this phone is not slow at all. I'm going to show you guys some clips here of really what it's like opening apps, responding to messages. My phone pretty much never freezes on me ever. It's really honestly like crisp and sharp for a phone that is 3 years old, and in my opinion the performance of it is spectacular. Onwards, and kind of in the same boat in terms of OS, I'm running iOS 14, but this iPhone is still compatible with AirPods Max as well as the AirPods Pro and the most recent Apple Watch. I know that sometimes when you have an older phone, you're not able to have a phone that's compatible with any of the newer models for Apple Watches or AirPods, but this one still is. So discussing the OS with the performance as well is really just to say that I know Apple was actually, I think they were sued, or I can't remember exactly what happened, but Apple was actually in fact slowing down our phones whenever new softwares would come out and whenever the new iPhone would come out. So clearly, I mean, they were sued for it, so they made some changes, and I really haven't seen any slowdown in performance. Next, in terms of something else that really makes people get new phones, is the battery life. So the battery life on this phone is actually just okay, I would say. I am pretty much home all day every day, so it's not really a major issue to me, but possibly if I were out and about and I didn't have my phone charger like a foot away from me, then maybe yes, the battery would be an issue. Currently with my iPhone, the max capacity is only 81%, so that means it can't actually hold a completely full charge. It does say it is 100% when it's charged, but it doesn't mean it's going to be actually at 100%, if that makes any sense. I did say that the battery is actually performing at peak performance, but honestly, I'm probably not the best person to give my opinion on what the battery life is like, because I watch YouTube videos when I work out and I use my phone for honestly a lot of video playback, which just eats up your battery anyways. So I pretty much always have to charge my phone in the middle of the day. This iPhone also does have wireless charging. It doesn't have the MagSafe wireless charging, but it does have the regular QLED wireless charging. So next, in terms of the screen, it has a 5.5-inch Retina display. So obviously with new iPhone models, they pretty much always upgrade the screen to something that's a little more crisp and just a little more clear. I haven't really seen a difference. I don't think my phone screen is that bad, and even more than that, I literally have a screen protector that kind of ruins its resolution anyways. Someone was like, why pay more money? But that's beside the point. So the new iPhones that came out in 2020, they're all compatible with 5G. This one is unfortunately only compatible with 4G, but in my opinion, not too big of an issue. 5G is just getting started. We are just now, or I guess we're in the second year of the new decade. 5G hasn't really taken full force yet, and not every single city has 5G yet. Only really major cities have 5G. So I think having a phone that is only compatible with 4G is completely fine. I do think eventually 5G, of course, you know, it will be somewhat necessary to have a 5G phone, but having a 4G iPhone right now, no big deal. And then finally, what seems to be pulling most people to upgrade their phones, the camera. So the iPhone 8 Plus has a 12 megapixel dual camera. So this is different from the newer iPhone models where those have 3 different cameras, and they also have that ultra wide lens. So this iPhone doesn't have the ultra wide lens with it, but if you do look at the Apple website, you'll notice that when you compare the iPhones, the megapixels are actually the same. So for the iPhone 12, the iPhone 12 mini, pretty much all the iPhone 12s, it's going to be 12 megapixels. But the reason why you have a sharper, more clear image and just a better camera on the newer models is because of the chip. So this is actually something I was unfamiliar with. I didn't really know that the chip could affect a camera like that. But yes, apparently even though all these phones have the exact same megapixels, something about the iPhone 8 Plus having a A11 chip, not an A14 chip, makes the camera not look as good. Though it doesn't have an ultra wide lens, since it is the iPhone 8 Plus, it does have portrait mode in it, but along with that, the front facing camera is pretty terrible. It doesn't have portrait mode. It really doesn't have any bells and whistles that all of the new phones have. But honestly, in my opinion, I think that is fine. So really overall for the camera, in my opinion, unless you are like a social media influencer or your phone is literally your job, you don't need a better camera. Usually when I take pictures, I will take pictures with friends. I don't typically take pictures by myself. And if I'm taking a photo with a friend, usually whoever the friend is or the group is will see who has the best phone and then we'll take photos from there. Honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal, like I said, unless taking selfies is your job. So finally, do I think that the iPhone 8 Plus is worth it in 2021? Yes and no. I say yes, mainly because I think that if you have the current iPhone 8 Plus, if you've had it since 2017 or however long you've had it for, I don't think there's a reason to upgrade. I think you should just keep your phone pretty much until it croaks or you can't update to a compatible iOS anymore. And that's pretty much what I plan to do. So as I mentioned before, really the only major cons are the camera and the battery life, but the fact that the performance of it is so spectacular still, really, like, you can't change my mind that this is a great phone. It's not slow at all. And on, like, what really do you need a new phone for is what I always try and tell myself. So I don't really plan on buying a new phone this year. We'll have to see how it handles it, if it's able to update to iOS 15 later in the year. But as of right now, I really think that if you have an iPhone 8 Plus, there's no need to get a new one. In terms of why I said no, it mainly has to do with because I don't think you should buy a used or refurbished iPhone 8. I think you should just go with maybe like the iPhone SE or really just any other phone. It's pretty much still quite expensive. It's like $250 to almost $400 for a used iPhone 8 Plus, which I think is kind of outrageous. So I think you should just kind of bump up, pay a little bit more, and, you know, have those added performance features, even though I just said that, you know, they aren't necessary. But I think if you are considering buying an older phone, especially a refurbished phone in 2021 that is already 3 years old, might be something to consider not doing. So that's gonna be it for today's video. Do you have an iPhone 8 Plus? Are you planning on upgrading anytime soon? Are you one of those people that has to upgrade every single year? Let me know in the comments down below. If you guys are new to my channel, hi, my name is Adebisi. I do tech and finance videos. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. Also subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye guys.